everybody, welcome to another episode of the Charlie West Wrestling Show. I am your host, Charlie West, and I'm joined today by Tony.
Glad to be here.
I hope so, because we're going to be talking about something positive today, our top 10 favourite entrances. Now, this isn't just going to be like just the theme music, it's the general, the whole show of the entrance, like from the music starting to getting into the ring, like the whole performance aspect of that.
The pageantry.
Yes. So it's not just, I like this music.
Yeah,
it's like the whole way they carry themselves. So some of these people have themes that are maybe not my favourite, or they are wrestlers who definitely are not my favourite. But like the whole way that they got from backstage to ring is something that I think is the 10 best ways that people did that.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
I see. So my number 10 is Rey Mysterio. And specifically back when he used to just basically explode. Like it was like he was fired out of a cannon onto the ramp. Like that just, that thing for me, that whole thing of like just coming out with the booyaka and the cannons and the pyro.
Yeah, they really sold Ray, like on, I think it was Smackdown when he first like came on the Smackdown, they had that big fist entrance.
Yeah.
The Smackdown fisting, as we used to call it. And he did, when he first came out, he did that whole pop. And it was like, booyaka, booyaka. I was like, I remember as a child being like, this is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And then when he would like, the way he would always like custom do his masks and outfits to represent different things. It was just a really, like, you could be like going into, especially with pay-per-views, it'd be like, what's Ray going to turn up like? It's a real exciting thing. So I just thought that Rey Mysterio, like his whole aesthetic for his entrance was just really, really, like, I still don't think that like a high flyer has beaten it. Like they've tried installing like trampolines, they've tried doing other things.
Yeah, with Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Honeycomb and all that, yeah.
Ray's still the best.
Definitely. Still got like the best lucha entrance in WWE.
Yeah.
Completely agree with that. Okay, so my number 10 is one that kind of shocked me because I thought it'd be a bit higher on the list, but then the more I did it, it's probably, well, I can only just say it's time to play the game.
Okay.
Just like Triple H and his whole entrance and how it evolved from what he was before in D-Generation X to like, it started with the My Time entrance where like he's like, "Won't tell this on," and he'd come out and then with the whole water bottle and the spit the water bottle out. Like I remember.
Well, people now still feel that as like being a piece of like just a generic wrestling entrance, right?
Yeah,
It's so ubiquitous.
Well,
this whole idea of
I used to do it as a kid. Like I'd like get out the shower and I'd be like, I'd swallow a bit of water and I'm like, I'm coming out the shower like Triple H all the time. Or like whenever you enter a room, you're like, it's time to play the game.
Yes.
Now you're playing. Gets up on the ring post and he's like pointing at everybody. Like, I just fucking love that Triple H entrance. Like the whole choreography. And like even these like special entrances at WrestleMania.
Well, I was about to say about the special entrance because like because we're doing like just general, not just like a one-off entrance. That's really cool. I feel like Triple H would probably be higher if we were picking like one specific one-off.
You'd probably have like 3 or 4 where
Yes.
you'd be like special entrances like Triple H at this WrestleMania, Triple H at this WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like they've all been grand, but like his own entrance where he just like comes in by himself, just it's one of the best. I have put it at number 10 because there is some that have been much better, but that's like one that's just like timeless.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those ones that you just know, right? Like the music helps, the lighting helps, everything helps for it. So my number 9 is let me just double check what it says. Yeah, definitely by far. No, maybe there's another group here that's as bad a wrestler as this guy. This guy is not a very good wrestler, but he was the epitome of like energy, testosterone, like adrenaline, just like the whole thing about like even his entrance music is not the best entrance music in the world. It just sort of goes dun 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 dun, like it just does beats whatever else. But just that thing of like that music playing and then this crazy man in tassels just sprinting to the ring as fast as he can, and then just having some sort of seizure inside the ropes, like Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
like it just is that thing of like. I think every single time it tricks you into thinking you're about to see a good match.
Yeah, he blew himself up before the match even came up.
You almost never got a good match, but you always are like, yeah, I'm ready. Come on, Ultimate Warrior, I'm down.
You hit the music, like the energy as well.
It's like, maybe the only wrestler that peaks before the bell.
Yeah. I remember watching, I think it was the one where he came down to save Hogan. You heard that music and he's like sprinting down and the whole crowd went wild for it. He's just like, he's running from one rope to the other. It's like, ah.
Yeah.
Like energy, like get a good solid 3 minutes out of him. And then, yeah, that is a fantastic entrance. I'm down with that one. So my number 9 is JBL.
Okay, like the cowbell and the
cowbell, and then the limo. He went through a phase with his limo during the Eddie Guerrero feud with the big horns on it and the whole cabinet coming out and like him coming out and like just the camera angle was always like down here, so he was looking up at him with his cowboy hat on. And he was like, I love that whole entrance. He had that blue like sports jacket that he'd always wear with his towel around and like get to the ring, like complete transformation for Bradshaw in general from like being like this beer drinking Texan acolyte to just like this complete stock market winning just all round arsehole, and the way he like portrayed himself and walked and his body language. Like, JBL's for me. Whenever I see that entrance, I'm like, he's a great heel. He's a great wrestler. It
was a very strong title run of being like a guy who never ever should have won a single match.
Oh yeah.
But he somehow did. Like, I'm not the greatest fan of him as a wrestler / person, but it was certainly like that character definitely felt like a true heel character.
Yeah, and the entrance just was complete pageantry. I loved it.
That's fair enough. So my number 8 is it's a female wrestler, and it's a female wrestler that just the way that she carried herself, it was just a really, like, cute's the wrong word, because she also kind of murdered people with elbows. But just, it was like this aesthetic of like a pirate wrestler, like Kairi Sane. She would come out dressed like a pirate. She'd have like this pirate steering wheel. Like when she had the title, she won the NXT title, it came out in her little treasure chest. It's like, I've got a treasure chest. And it's just like, this whole thing is like, because her gimmick, like her moveset was not a pirate moveset.
No. She
did no pirate stuff when she got to the ring. She was literally a pirate until she got in the ring.
Yeah.
So it didn't make any sense from any level of logic, but it just was a really cool entrance. It was a really cool, everything about it, the way that she wore her little hat and had her little spyglass, did all that. I'm making her again sound like this precious little thing, but she actually would kill me. She's probably the cutest, daintiest thing that would murder you flat.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
But no, I love that entrance. I thought like Kairi Sane it just made you feel like I'm happy now. She's so happy all the time, even when she's not. She seemed happy.
Yeah, that's a good entrance. My number 8 would be Big Dave Batista.
Okay, I imagine Pyro being a big part of that, right?
Pyro is a big part of it, but it's everything from like the music to the cues from the music. So it's like down, yeah. And when I hear that, I get goosebumps. I'm like, yes. This is like fall around for a bit of danger, and then he comes out, he's like down, and he does that with his hands. And he like plays into the music, and then he gets down for his like machine gun.
They never ever gave him a real machine gun, though, did they?
No,
I feel like they gave Rusev a tank. They gave other people this. They should have given Dave Batista just one time a real Tommy gun,
or just like a real like a turret that he could just grab on and just a turret of fireworks.
Maybe like a t-shirt machine gun.
Yeah.
Just fire t-shirts into the crowd.
Yeah, that whole thing, and like the way he like carries himself, he's like, boom. He goes to the music every time, and even like when he was like heel Batista, he still like did that. Still like got up on the ropes and still did all that like pageantry and stuff. It was like that entrance rarely changed.
No, it was very much. I mean, I know it's
and he still like got the crowd every time with they did the machine gun or they heard that.
Well, I know it's Xavier Woods' favorite entrance.
Is it?
Yeah, he always like sort of says like he loves doing it and stuff, like on his Up Down Down TV show. He always talks about it and does it. I think to the point of Batista being like, "Stop using my entrance," or whatever else. Like,
it is a fantastic entrance. Yeah, always gets me like goosebumps. It's one of them.
It is a big adrenaline entrance. Yes. Speaking of an adrenaline entrance that gets people involved, and in the end, I decided not to make any allowances for the fact that there's sort of two characters played by the same guy that have the same music, but the entrance is done in a slightly different way, because it really does have like this whole like of modern sort of lights out style music where people just like get involved. The Finn Balor entrances
Yeah.
Like just the way that music plays, the way that you just have the whole crowd just going boom, the way that it works both as an adrenaline like guy just going yeah, but also works as a demon crawling his way to the ring.
It's like when you see like you see pictures on like Instagram or whatever, WWE loves to post these pictures, and it's like Finn doing this, and the whole crowd are like doing this at the exact same time, and everyone's bum 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 bum. Wow. Like even when we were playing 2K before, we were playing 2K and Finn Balor's music hit, and even you like spontaneously just went like this during it, and I was like, yeah, because that's the whole.
It just does it for you, right? It's like
like
it's like you sort of hear reports of certain people that no longer run WWE saying that like, oh, no one gets behind Finn Balor, he doesn't seem to be over or have the support of the crowd, and then you watch SmackDown. And just like, even though he's in a match of no consequence, the whole audience is just like, just going in.
Yeah. And like, even when he comes out just to cut a promo and he's just walking to the ring normally, the crowd's still doing it. And like, even he like half-heartedly does it. Like, it's still just a huge...
No, I just think it's a fantastic general entrance.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. My number 7, speaking of fantastic entrances that all the crowd gets behind, is D-Generation X.
Okay.
Like, just that whole...
Is this the original, or when you have X-Pac and New Age Outlaws and all of that lot involved?
So, my favourite one, and this is going to be kind of controversial, I think, maybe, is...
With Hornswoggle.
No, not with Hornswoggle, but it's that era, like, when they came back, when it was Shawn and Hunter came back, and this is pure with the entrance, not the whole them coming back and the whole them talking about cocks and shit. It's more just like the way they perfected that entrance to the point where like that first time you heard, "Are you ready?" And like Shawn come out and he's doing like he's running around doing his little like I'm Shawn, I'm the idiot, and Triple H is like I'm the game, but I'm Triple H and DX, and they're like and Shawn's like playing the fool. I think at some points
this is during the era where Shawn Michaels got so worked up he kicked Stan.
Yeah. It was during that one. Yeah. Like that one. Like just as they were coming back, and like then they'd get in the middle of the ring. They'd do the whole pose, and the fireworks would go off. And then
got a job in a restaurant under the pseudonym of Michael Higginbotham.
Yeah. And then like after that, you've got the whole Triple H being like, "Are you ready?" And the crowd getting it. It's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls," and do the whole like, "Let's get ready to suck it."
That's a really cool. Do you think H or Road Dogg was better at that?
Road Dogg was definitely better at it. Like as far as like the mic being the guy on the mic, because Road Dogg could just like improvise, like even from New Age Outlaws and stuff. But that like Triple H and Shawn Michaels dynamic of them being the original DX and them being back together and doing that whole intro, they perfected it. Like I think that was just like so much on another level of like just everything came together. And like if the run would have been better, it would have been better. Like for them to have had a good run with it, as opposed to the PG gimmicky stuff that they had to do. Yeah. But it did give us Shawn Michaels, and it gave us Shawn Michaels as Shane McMahon and Triple H as Vince McMahon, which is one of the best comedy segments I've seen. Like I love that one.
Bless you. Right, my number 6 is a testament, I think, to this idea of this being entrances over theme music. Because when this person debuted, I think they debuted in NXT, I watched that entrance, was like, that theme's fantastic. Like, it's such a fantastic theme song. It's brilliant. This guy feels like $1 million. And then that person debuted on Raw with the same theme, but with a completely different style of entrance. And you're like, no, the theme's just a theme. It's kind of fine. Because when you have Karrion Kross with the black and white and the smoke and Scarlet, that whole package together is one of the best entrances I've seen in years.
And hopefully we'll see it again soon.
Yeah, it's just so good. Like just with Scarlet like miming the fallen prey, and Karrion Kross just looking angry and like going to black and white. It really is just this whole thing, and like it just feels like an event, right? It feels like Karrion Kross is important. It feels like Scarlet is important. I remember with good old everyone's favorite wrestling commentator Jim Cornette, when that first entrance, and he said like, "Yeah, this is the debut of a superstar, Scarlett. She looks $1 million in this." Like before he'd seen Karrion Kross wrestle and so forth. But when they suddenly brought Karrion Kross onto the main roster with the same music, and you realise it's not the music that's cool. It's
the
everything.
Whole thing,
it's
the whole
package.
shebang. Yeah. So my number 6 is probably one of the best ones that comes through the crowd. Like that whole, like wrestlers have been through the crowd before. Like Edge and Christian did it a while, but like the Shield, you hear that Sierra Hotel India Echo Delta Shield, and then like they came from like opposite sides. They walk down with that like sort of like militaristic walk, the way they come down, and like Seth Rollins does his jump over the barrier and these little roll into it, which could have gone wrong so many times but never did.
Yeah.
And you got like Dean Ambrose on the other side, like stalking his way to the ring, and
it was like Raptors, wasn't it? Like just cornering.
Yeah. And whenever they came out to like just not for a match but to like take somebody out, they still did the whole thing where they stalked slowly to the ring.
Yeah.
And all three of them got up on like one side of it, and like before they got into the ring, just the movement and like the body language that they did for it all, it was just like perfect for that entire
it was a really good gimmick doing that. And yeah, like coming through the crowd, I'm also really, really happy that as you started that explanation, you didn't finish it with the word Sandman, because that would have made me sad. I don't care how good an intro someone might think that is. I never want to hear the word Sandman and positive top 10 wrestling list in the same breath. So I'm going to go with the Shield. I'll accept it. My number 5 is a repeat of one of yours. Do you want to guess which one?
Triple H?
Yeah, Triple H.
I knew Triple H would be in.
Because it is just that thing, right? Of like whether you're picking just like singular intros or just the intros in general, it is just one of those things where you just feel like it is like you don't realize it's like 7 minutes long. Because every moment of it is interesting and
completely choreographed to the point where he spits the water out the first time, walks to the ring in his like thing, and then he goes around the ring, and then he steps on the side, and he's like looking at people like I'm the game.
No, it just emanates the idea of like he is.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that's my number 5, Triple H.
So my number 5 is a repeat of yours.
Oh,
can you guess which one?
Finn.
Yeah, Finn Balor. You got it. Like I'm all in on the bam. Like even I do it at home. Like I'll be sat on this couch watching, like just doing it with him. Like, even better. Like not just Demon Finn Balor, but like Finn Balor. Like,
no, it's a fantastic everyday theme, right? It just is one that gets people involved in it all the way through. Like not just like there's loads of themes that are like what I call like Royal Rumble themes, like ones where like you hear it for like 2 seconds and you're immediately excited.
Finn
Balor's theme isn't like that. Finn Balor's theme is just like from like all the way through. You're just involved all the time. It's but no, I'm so we both got a repeat for number 5.
Yep.
So my number 4 is another female wrestler for me, and this is just one where it's just really cool. Like it was just something where like this person came back a few years back with this new entrance style, and it was just like, wow, she now really feels like really special with this entrance, because they just made her up in such a way where like all like just glow in the dark parts of her clothes and whatever else came on, and then like with the black light and stuff. Just the Naomi entrance, like because she's such a good dancer. So that mixture of her being a great dancer and the mixture of how they use the light and stuff, I just think it's a really, really good entrance.
Yeah, the whole neon stuff.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one actually. You've like jogged my memory a bit with that.
That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell people that what they originally thought was the top 10 is wrong and that I am right.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that. So my number 4 is the classic Ric Flair.
Oh, I was about to say Zack Ryder.
No. Ric
Woo!
Flair. The rope.
You know it.
Everything, just like the walk to the ring, the slow, the I'm better than you, the strut, just dum bum bum, and the music as well. Space Odyssey. It's just like he lives, breathes, eats the gimmick. And even to this day, he still looks good doing it. I mean, he looked terrible in his last match when he was like wrestling, but
he'll be better in his next last match.
Yeah, with like still the walk to the ring.
Yeah,
just
exactly. The
seeing
big grudge
him
match
do
we
it one
want
more
to see.
time.
Ric Flair versus Carlos Colon. That's going to be the
next one in Puerto Rico.
maybe. It doesn't count if it's in Puerto Rico.
I hope he doesn't. But that being said, like Ric Flair doesn't need any special stuff for WrestleMania because his entrance is always good anyway.
It's just that Flair. Big music and a robe. Right?
Yep, that's all he needs, and he makes it work every time. Like I don't think he's never had like any special stuff go on. It's just always been this is Flair. This is who he
just
is.
a special robe. That's the closest you get.
He just does a turn around and then walks to the ring, struts around for a bit, throws a few woos out there, and the crowd just eats it up.
Definitely. No, I think that's a good shout. Right, so we're up to top 3. So I'm going to take I'm going to make a guess that one of the top 3 we have is the same. One, there's a small chance it's the same, and one I have is not even close to your top 70.
Right.
So my number 3 is the one that might be in your top 3, or might be in your honorable mentions, which is The Brood.
Oh.
Because that O is like, it would have been if I had remembered it.
It kind of is, yeah.
No, because partly I was going to be like, Edge, I love Edge, let's just pick Edge. And I was like, wait a minute, actually, Edge's theme music is the best theme music. But that Brood entrance of just fire and flame and darkness, when they start like flying around on zip lines and stuff, it's just...
I remember seeing that as a kid, like for the first time, like with the fire at the bottom of the ring. It's like, bom, 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 and then Gangrel just comes out with like a cup of blood, and like they're obviously like either side of him. He's like drinks the blood. Like it was horrifying to watch as a kid. Like when the Brood first kicked off. So it's a great entrance.
And the stuff that Edge has been doing recently with his like Bruges-ish style entrances and stuff, you just realise
it still pops.
Just really cool. Yeah. Just really, really cool, and I think it is. I think is it Metalingus?
Yeah.
I think that's the better entrance theme. But I think that this is the better entrance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Although it did annoy me a bit at SummerSlam that like Rey Mysterio and Dominic were getting beaten down in the ring, and Edge was like, "Hang on a minute, just let me light fire to all this stuff.
Let me finish building my stand. Ignore me. Yeah. I'm just hammering away, making a little scaffold."
Yeah, but it still popped me when I first seen it. I was like, "Oh God, yeah, that's a great entrance." Like again. So my number 3 is probably going to be no surprise to anybody that knows me.
Shane McMahon.
No, Hulk Hogan.
Right. Okay.
It's just timeless.
So here's the thing with that. If we were doing themes, I'm right there with you. I think when I did the top 10 theme list with Tom, I had Hulk Hogan's theme at like number 6.
Yeah.
But the entrance, are you saying that like because of all of the ear stuff and the posing?
So it's like from the moment it happens, you hear, "I am a real American," and then the guitar kicks in and he waits for that moment before he comes out. So he waits, he gets the crowd all come up. And then when he comes out, like the energy, like he used to walk to the ring like a boxer, but like then he sort of like switched it up to where he was like pointing at people, at like the pointing,
the shirt ripping,
the like fingers to the crowd, and that's just like while he's going through the crowd. And then like as he gets to the crowd, he's like turning around, pointing at everybody, and then like this is like classic Hogan. I'm talking not like Hollywood, and like gets in, and then there's the shirt rip, the posing, the ear thing, like it's just all time was like.
I can see that.
Like I reckon, like I always say, but to this day, if Hulk Hogan, if that theme hits on Raw, Hulk Hogan comes out, you've got all the crowd in with this like straight away.
Again, harking back to a previous list with me and Tom, I made the exact point that like if it was number 30 of the Royal Rumble in 2023 Royal Rumble, and you heard "I Am a Real American," 60,000 people would lose their mind for 5 seconds, and then they would all have an aneurysm of like,
Hogan's going to win it.
Oh no. It'd be like, yes, we are so... Oh no, we're not excited.
Does that work for him, brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I can see that. So number 2. So this is my one where... If this one even entered your head as consideration, I would be shocked.
Okay.
I feel like when you hear it, you maybe will see it. You might even... not quite agree, but get it. But I feel like it's one that no one is expecting me to have as number 2, especially because the trajectory of these 2 wrestlers, because it's a tag team, one especially has gone so off the rails that people now hate the guy. that they forget just how over this entrance was. That when you heard that sort of like quasi-mafioso type music play, and then you had like Enzo and Cass coming out and giving all of their stuff and the way they would talk and like just their whole like, I got two, I'm going to spell it out for you, S-A-W. That whole thing was so over and so huge, and like, he was so good on the mic. He was an annoying prick, but he was so good on the mic. And Cass played his role too. And it's like, you know, I am the certified G, and you can't teach that. It's so good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's so good. And it's such a shame that that tag team was not that great wrestling-wise. Yeah. Hopefully Cass will show that he's actually pretty damn good now that he's got everything together. But it's such a shame that Enzo Amore is not a great wrestler. Yeah. Because everything about that screams that he could have been an all-time great small guy. Like talker, action, whatever else. It's such a shame that he's not great, because that entrance, when they debuted on Raw, the whole place was like, and because it's such a good entrance.
It is, and the whole like gimmick of I'm a certified G and a bona fide stuff, and you can't teach that. Yeah, and he's 6 foot tall,
7 feet tall,
7 feet tall, and you can't. Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah. The whole crowd, and they even had like they were selling like cup of haters, and just like Yeah, that's one of the biggest shames in wrestling is like the fact that Enzo Amore turned out to be who he was.
Yeah, because that's such a great intro, right? It's like the D-Generation X of like 21st century. The style, it has that same sort of like, I'm gonna spell it out for you. It's just the same as I got 2 words for you. It's such a brilliant system, and it's just a shame it didn't work out.
Yeah, I can do that. So my number 2 is probably one of the only entrances that like when I saw it live for the first time, I was like, this is amazing. I was just like, it was something so simple as everybody just holding their phones up while the lights were out and waving them as the Fireflies kicked in. Yeah. And Bray Wyatt, like that one is one of those entrances that just like gives me goosebumps when I saw it live, and I was just like, this is like one of the best things I've ever witnessed in like.
So is this a Bray Wyatt or the Fiend?
No, Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
OG Bray Wyatt. Like the Fiend stuff, I'm not like, I like the Fiend stuff, but the entrance stuff, I'm not really like too.
Right.
I thought it was okay, but it was a bit like over the top with like the lantern of the head of Bray and stuff.
Right.
But like the OG Bray Wyatt, like the original Wyatt family type dynamic, where like the lights went out and then you heard that boom, 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 when they just like he'd down, he'd walk to the ring with his like lantern while like Harper and Rowan are carrying a chair, and like the whole crowd like just it's just simple. It's just phone lights, everybody doing it, and then.
No, there was something special about Bray Wyatt. Like I think every incarnation of Bray Wyatt, not called Husky Harris, had something special about them, and it would be very weird for someone to not see that.
Yeah, but, and like just not seeing how over like that whole thing was, like the whole Wyatt family in general. Like the Wyatt family versus the Shield is still my favorite 6-man tag match. Like,
it was excellent, right?
Yeah.
No, I can see that. That's a really cool option. I almost had like Fiend Bray Wyatt in my thing. I think it just was like the last honorable mention that I kicked off. Let me just check. Yes, it was the last honorable mention that I kicked off. Mm-hmm. So speaking of honorable mentions, I say I have a sneaking suspicion we might have the same number 1. But my 3 honorable mentions are, firstly, was another one that did the whole black and white aesthetic. I don't know, they're only around for a shortish period of time on the main roster at least, which was the Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains.
Yes. Like when they had that thing of like basically having the thing turn back to feel like it was like the 1920s and stuff. I think that was just a really cool little entrance. And especially like with that very brief time that they were feuding with Enzo and Cass before it all went wrong. Like it was a really good clash of entrance music and entrance styles. So like we are pure wrestlers from when wrestling was a pure real sport back in the 20s and stuff. And these two are idiots from like New Jersey or something. So I like the Vaudevillains a lot. John Morrison with the slow down, the slow motion.
I love that with the wig in his hair.
I think the slow motion thing with John Morrison was fantastic. And Mr. Kennedy with the microphone coming down. Yeah, like that's that whole thing.
Kennedy.
Yeah, just that thing of the microphone coming down. He was again another person where like similar to Enzo Amore, really, really disappointing that guy wasn't better than he was.
Yeah.
Because he had everything to be one of the best.
And
except
he had the push until he messed it up.
And then before you, I have one honourable mention, because this is a guy that maybe a lot of people watching maybe won't know. And it wasn't that like his entrances were particularly special, but it was the way that he curated entrances almost on an opponent by opponent basis. He's a British wrestler that I knew across because of WCPW back in the day, which is Joe Henry. Because Joe Henry would basically just create theme songs.
Song guy.
Yeah, he would create theme songs based on who he was partnering with or who he was wrestling, and just that ability to just continuously like come up with different parodies on probably a week by week basis. It was just a level of imagination that I just really appreciate.
I never knew his name, but I know him as theme song guy.
Right? Yeah,
I've seen the theme songs, but I didn't know who he was unless you mentioned what he does.
Yes.
Okay, so my honourable mentions. First one goes to the classic New World Order.
Okay.
Although that theme song got overplayed to death watching WCW back, but the original, like black and white, the fading of the sign, the New World Order, and then just the mixture of Hogan doing his weird guitar thing that he does, but then like Scott Hall doing his like, and then big sexy Kevin Nash doing his whole Diesel thing. It just all came together beautifully, like when the original three were doing it. Like that's a great entrance for me. Next one is Big Papa Pump.
Okay.
Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, and I quite like his WWE entrance, which people probably won't remember or want to forget about, but it was like the sirens. It was like woo woo woo, and Big Papa Pump comes out, and like he's like the big booty daddy, and he's flexing his muscles on the thing and kissing that weird little bicep that he has that no one else seems to have.
So you're more of a TNA Scott Steiner guy then?
Yeah. I love Scott. Like I've always loved Scott, but like I love like that entrance with the sirens and stuff always brings back to like just the big booty daddy. Like I just love that whole gimmick with Scott. And the last one is the Brothers of Destruction.
Okay.
So this is the one where Kane used to come out to his usual like Undertaker music. Like the first time I remember seeing it was Kane would come out to his Kane music, and then he'd get to his point where he'd and then like he'd just like keep rolling, or it'd go dead man walking, and like Taker would come out on his motorbike and ride around the ring while Kane was stood there being all menacing and stuff. I just remember as a kid. Like now it probably looks like really lame if I watch it, and I'll be like, that's pretty stupid.
That's a lot of stuff, right?
But
some stuff that you remember is cool, then you watch and be like, oh no.
But as a kid, like I remember seeing that and the whole like them like both raising their hand up when they got in the ring, doing the whole like it's just
I can see that, like, and also that's the thing about nostalgia, right? That we remember something and it's really cool at that time. Number one then.
Yeah, let's go.
So, I think we might have the same number one. So if you do, just let me know at the time, because I've got Undertaker.
I've not got Undertaker.
You've not got Undertaker?
No.
Undertaker didn't even make your top 14?
No, he didn't.
That shocks me.
I like Taker's entrance.
Right.
I think it's great. It's magical, all that.
If you have that,
take a lot.
If you have that bored idiot just walking from backstage and headbutting doors, I swear. Anyway, The Undertaker, I just think that it's such a great... Like, it's a guy walking slowly, right? The same way that Triple H just walks to the ring, stands on the side of the ring, looks at people and gets in the ring. Like, if you just try and explain it, there's nothing special about it when you're explaining it. But The Undertaker, the way that he can just make a slowest walk you've ever seen feel like something where you are getting like those goosebumps and stuff that the commentators are trying to say that you're feeling. I just think it's such a good entrance and such a good use of music, and the way that he will like ceremoniously take off his hat, take off his jacket.
Bit in the corner, smoke. Yeah, I agree. It's great.
Hilariously, I think the best ever Undertaker entrance for me as a single entrance is possibly for maybe his worst match that he ever had at probably the worst WrestleMania.
It's the Roman Reigns one?
No, WrestleMania 9 with the Vulture.
Oh.
I think that was just great when he came out with like just all of this dead like cacophony of like death and destruction and stuff, just a vulture there and just coming out. I think that's just a really cool entrance. Shame about every single thing about that year, Undertaker regarding.
Yeah.
Apart from that. Please don't say Goldberg.
Okay.
Please don't
so
say
my
Goldberg.
number one.
Please don't say Goldberg.
He's
Please
probably
don't say
better known
Goldberg.
for WCW. It's Rick Rude.
Oh, thank God.
I couldn't think of anything else to like link it to Goldberg. I was like, it's going to be like, this guy's known for his body. This guy's known for, but no, it's Rick Rude.
Yeah. In WWE, they were mostly associated with Triple H.
Yeah. I could have said that.
Yeah.
But mainly the thing with, I'm a huge Rick Rude mark, but like the whole thing that Rick Rude did when he came to ring was just phenomenal. Like from everything, from the tights,
Right.
To
the
like,
custom tights.
The custom tights, the robes was like it should have looked like a knockoff Ric Flair, but the way Rude presented himself, like he always had like a manager like behind him, and like the music was always like that, like sexy music, and he'd walk to the ring like I'm a man, like mustache, everything. And then like when he got in the ring, he was just like, cut my music, and then like he proceeds to tell me like, I want all the fat, overweight, out of shape, good for nothing people of Ohio to shut up, and I'll show while I take off my robe and show your women what a real man looks like. And then like they cut to the crowd, and there'd be like one woman in the crowd going like, oh my God, it's Rick Rude, look at that body while he did it. And he'd like just reveal his tights that he's got on that sometimes had like Miss Elizabeth on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking Rick Rude.
I don't sound like
fantastic.
of all the wrestler entrances that are out there, that's the one that I get requested to try and do the most.
The most, yeah. They ask you all the time.
But I have to turn it down, right? Because I'm not there to overshadow the wrestlers. I'm there to announce them.
Yeah, they couldn't handle a body like yours.
And who could? Yeah, nobody could.
But yeah, I just really, really think Rick Rude, as far as like underrated wrestlers goes and underrated entrances, and what he like did for so long as well. Like he was a heel for so long. His entrance never changed, like until he got hurt and had to be like Triple H's lackey. But other than that, like Rick Rude had a great career with the same gimmick, the same theme, and the same like.
That's a fair shout. That's not what I would have thought number one was. I did have a small panic that it was going to be Goldberg. I didn't want it to be Goldberg. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm also glad that neither of us just had a person where broken glass sounds and some maniac just talks to themselves as they walk to the ring, doing their best bushwhacker impression. But anyway, that's our top 10.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. Let us know if there's anyone you think we missed out. As always, probably half of Japan, because we don't watch that here. We don't take kindly to Japanese wrestling round it. No, that's not.
Let's not go down that route.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Edit that. Just cut that. Get out.
Anyway, let us know what you think. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, ring bells, tick boxes, do all the things that you're supposed to do. And this has been the Charlie West Wrestling Show. I've been Charlie West. This has been Tony.
Thanks.
And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Oh!